I'm lying in bed and I could see the door handle moving, and then he steams in and starts screaming and shouting, "Where's my dad? Where's my dad? What have you done with my dad, you fucking bitch?" At which point I was in shock. I didn't know who this person was. I was concerned for him because I could see that he was really agitated and upset, but it was very focused on me. It was like,
and he was very close to you.
Yeah, and
as close as we are.
As close as we are, yeah. And I recoiled. I recoiled back into my bed. At which point he ripped the duvet off, and I jumped out of bed at that point and ran around to the other side of the room. And he kept sort of shouting at me, but he was very focused on me. It was really confusing because it was loud and it was aggressive, and there was lots of sort of gesticulating going on, and he had something under his jumper.
You didn't see him as the same person in the photograph necessarily?
Not at all. Well, I didn't. The photograph, I can't even visualise it now. It was something that was given to me 5 years ago for 30 seconds to look at. It transpires that on the 9th of October, he had sent an email to his mother saying that he was in London, had come into some money, probably from my handbag, and that he was determined to murder a celebrity. The police didn't tell me that, and I was living in the same flat on my own, albeit with a security guard. Then on the 11th, I think, I was DJing at an event, and I came home at about 1 o'clock in the morning to find the handbag that had been stolen on the bonnet of my car, burnt out, at which point I called the police. And the police came over, and I think that it was the next day that they installed CCTV on the outside of my house. And then a day after that, he was arrested.
And what happened in court?
He was brought up from the cells, and he came in. He immediately made eye contact with me. He started shouting at me in the court. When the judge said, "Why should I grant you bail today?" he said, "Because the world would be a better place without her, and that's what I'm here to do." There wasn't anyone from the police at court that morning, so even though I had witnessed this, nobody from the police had witnessed this and was writing it down in order to, notify the CPS that he was continually threatening me. There was a charge of burglary and a charge of harassment.
But no stalking charge?
No stalking charge, yeah. But it didn't really seem like they were really interested in making it a stalking case. After I gave evidence, I was taken into a room and I was told by the CPS that in his interview, he said that he was going to put a knife through my face.
And in that interview, part of which was played in court, what did the police then say to him?
We're going to end the interview there.
Until this happened to you, Lily, had you any idea of the extent of the problem with stalking?
I had no idea about the extent of stalking that goes on in this country, and as far as I'm aware, it's 700,000 reported cases, 1% of which end up with a prosecution, which is why I've teamed up with the Women's Equality Party and Paladin, who are the charity associated with stalking, to lobby for this serial stalking register. There are not many people in this country that have the resources to move house, take on a security guard, and a legal team in order to push the CPS and the police. I feel very thankful that I do have those resources, but it makes me very, very worried about other women and indeed men in this situation. Due to the high profile of this matter, I fear other victims of similar crimes may have read the story and now may not have the confidence in us to report such matters. As such, it is really important that I can understand what, if anything, went wrong during the investigation. I was saddened to hear of this report, so would like to hear your views on what we could do better.
What do you think of that email?
I think it's victim shaming and victim blaming.
But you know he's going to be sentenced now, and that must bring some relief.
Yes, it does bring me some relief if he is sentenced and dealt with as a mentally ill person, because if he's not, I'm not safe and my children aren't safe. I'm not in the slightest bit angry with Alex Gray, and I could see from the minute that he came into my bedroom that he was ill and that he needed help. I wanted to help him, you know. I felt immediately like something's really wrong with this guy, and I feel like, you know, he's been let down. I've been let down, and how many other people are being let down?